Here we go again. Hello and welcome to Question Time from Channels Television. Now, as the federal government continues to seek ways of increasing its revenue base and stimulate economic growth, the need to address the problem of acute shortage of potable water in the country is of top priority. Now, let's look at the facts and figures here, with the scary statistics of only 7% of Nigerians having access to potable water and 46 million Nigerians lacking access to toilets. The federal government is declaring a state of emergency to address the water, sanitation and hygiene WASH demand of the country by increasing investment in the water sector by 300%. Now, here are the questions. Can the federal government beat the 2025 deadline to end open defecation? Is there enough political will to amend the National Water Bill? And what are the chances of Nigeria beating the SDG target of 100% access to potable water supply? In finding answers to these and more questions, we have as our guest the Minister of Water Resources, Engineer Suleiman Adamu. Join us in this interview.
The situation has become dire over the years in this country, and the most recent study we had indicates that pipe-borne water supply has dramatically reduced from 30% of the Nigerian population being served with pipe-borne water as of 1992 to 7% as of 2015. And obviously, from all indications, it's been going down. So we need to arrest it.
But what is essentially responsible for this shortage?
I'll just say there are quite a number of problems. But the most important one is the lack of adequate investment in the water and sanitation sector by government. And by government, I want you to be very clear that it is the responsibility of state governments and local governments to provide water and sanitation to the people, not the responsibility of the federal government. And the states, many states have not been investing properly. There are also other problems. There are capacity building issues. A lot of existing facilities have aged, and they've not been maintained over time, and they're broken down. They are not producing at optimum capacity. We have had energy crisis in this country that makes it very, very difficult to run water schemes. They require a lot of energy. In the absence of power from the grid, they have to rely on diesel, which is also, since the deregulation of the price of diesel, it has become very, very expensive. So quite a number of problems.
Now, you are canvassing for a 300% increased investment in the water sector. Isn't it so much an ambitious plan?
No investment is too small for water. Water is the basic ingredient of life. And if you invest more in sanitation, you cut at least by 50% your health issues. So I don't want to tie any particular number to although the investment is real, we know the quantum of investment we need. But what is important is we need to meet the Sustainable Development Targets by 2030, and we need to increase this investment on a sustainable basis, on a regular, continuously. So 300% is a datum. It might also be as much as 500%. We don't know. But at least let us start something. Let us commit ourselves to increasing investment in water, so that even if we are not able to meet the Sustainable Development Goals by 2030, which is not what I hope for, but we can be talking about 90-something%. At least then we would have made some progress. And maybe in another 5 years or so, we'll be able to make it. Obviously, not all countries have the same resources to be able to do that. But we must make an effort, and that's the whole point.
Now, I want you to expatiate more on the declaration of state of emergency on the water sector in your reform plans. How will this really change the current narrative in the water sector?
Quite a lot. One, we have subscribed we have made a commitment that will end open defecation in this country by the year 2025. Nigeria is now the second largest country that practices open defecation. 46 million people don't use toilets in this country.
Now, talking about open defecation, that's providing access to 46 million Nigerians. Do you think that is feasible? Because looking at the logistic, and this is something very capital intensive, building a septic tank, which is an average of 500,000, plus the installation logistics. Do you think this resources is available to change this reality? Isn't this too much ambitious on the part of federal government or the government in entirety?
You expect federal government to go and build toilets in people's houses?
No, I'm asking,
No.
how do you intend to go
We want to encourage, we're doing what we call community-led total sanitation program. We're encouraging the society, people to build toilets. If you go into the hinterlands, you find people building houses there are no toilets. We want to bring that culture so that people will build their toilets. A lot of the investment will be made by the people themselves. All we need is to spend a lot more money on behavioral change. And that is the program we've been using, and that's how we've been able to successfully free, so far, 3 local governments that I know of that have been fully verified, to free them from open defecation. Go to Obanliku local government. People are building their toilets. Go to some communities in Benue State. I was there physically. I saw what was going on, where they're using local materials. It's a behavior issue. Once people understand that they can build a pit latrine, you don't imagine a situation where we're talking of water closets. No, we're talking of people in the hinterland that go into the bush to ease themselves and don't think it is important to build a toilet and a private enclosure.
Talking about pit latrine, are you not taking us back to the Stone Age? Isn't this a retrogressive strategy? How acceptable would a pit latrine be in this time and age?
Come on, what is Stone Age? These people don't even have water. I mean, we have to face the reality. We have to move step by step. Even the developed countries, it took them hundreds of years to get where they are. We have issues of lack of access to water. We're committing this program. We're going side by side with our problems also related to water supply. So, and the first step is to get people, you don't take people to a very sophisticated level just in one bank. You have to take them gradually. We're talking of behavioral change, and we're talking of poor communities that cannot even afford the kind of things you're talking about. There are no water supply systems within those communities.
There's also concerns on hygiene. How hygienic is a pit latrine?
Oh, they're very hygienic. They've been tested and
in line with global standard. Is that acceptable in line with global
definitely,
standard?
all over the world for developing countries, researchers have done their work. If you go to India, if you go to wherever, even developed countries in rural communities, they use what they call composite systems or hybrid systems where they don't have water. The Japanese have it, the Koreans have it, the Chinese are doing it, the Western countries are doing it. And these are standard systems that have been tested, they have been evaluated by even the international financial institutions, and that is their encouraging. And that's what we call appropriate solutions. We don't want to take something to people that they cannot even understand and they can't manage. People have to be moved gradually. We're still a developing country, mind you.